Welcome back to 1600. AIG CEO Edward Liddy went before Congress today to try to explain why the company paid out $165 million in executive bonuses. Liddy has been testifying for more than 4 hours, taking a lot of heat from lawmakers who are justifiably furious about this. And joining me now, the man who chaired today's hearings, Congressman Paul Kanjorski, Democrat from Pennsylvania, the chairman of the House Subcommittee on Capital Markets. Congressman, thanks for your time tonight. Do you feel like you accomplished anything tonight with this testimony today? Was today a good first step?
And I think today was an excellent first step. And let me say, really what we have to keep in mind is the big picture. What's important is that we put all the focus on getting the recession or depression that may be out of the way and get recovery started in the United States. In order to do that, we have to stabilize the real estate market and we have to bring back the financial industry insofar as the credit freeze and crisis has frozen us up. And to do that, we are forced to pump in money in equity into banks and to buy troubled assets. Every now and then, mistakes are made, and that's what happened here at AIG. We had to get those disclosed, we had to talk about them, and we have to get the people comfortable with what happened. Not necessarily acceptance of it. They have to have a right to be outraged, and certainly I was outraged, but we have to get at the main issue, and that is a focus to get the recovery started in the United States.
Congressman, talk radio airwaves across America absolutely filled with the outrage that you're talking about, but there really seems to be a disconnect from what's being said across the country and also what was being said at this testimony in this hearing today. I mean, there is still a reluctance on the part of the CEO to give the money back. How does that play with you?
Well, you know, he made an executive decision that I didn't necessarily agree with. And I've been in communication with Mr. Liddy over a period of the last 60 days. So this isn't a new issue to me. And those people that feign absolute shock that these bonuses were out there or the decision had to be made, I don't know where their heads are, but they must have been in the ground. We've had knowledge of this, and some of us have been working very closely with AIG and Mr. Liddy over the last 60 days. Toward me, I thought we had an understanding that he was going to disclose the relevant documents and contracts so that we could look at them and determine what possibly could be done. Instead, as he testified today, he confided with the Federal Reserve, kept it to the Federal Reserve and himself, and made the decision on Friday night to pay the bonus, and that's the first time that he disclosed that decision to us. So we felt that if we didn't agree, and I didn't agree with that decision, I would have contested it. There isn't any reason. Matter of fact, in examining Mr. Liddy, look, I tried cases when I was a private tort lawyer against his insurance company. He didn't just settle every case that was there. A lot of times we had very strong cases, but we had to go all the way through a jury trial in order to win. He could have applied the same principle. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, are you comfortable with the position of the Treasury Secretary, Mr. Geithner, on this? I mean, there seems to be some question about what he knew, when he knew it, and why he didn't push forward for this money to be given back, or why it was even dished out in the first place. I mean, is he on shaky territory, in your opinion?
I think he made some calculated errors also in not pushing back and going along. He waited too long and said, well, the money's paid out, now get it back.
Do you think that'll cost him his job?
Look, I hope it won't cost him his job because, you know, everybody can make a mistake. Everybody can make different judgments. Look, we don't want to fire people. That's not going to give anybody satisfaction. We're not going to lose people. What we have to do in Treasury is start filling those spots that are unfilled right now that are absolutely essential. And in the administration and the president to try and do that. But, you know, we don't really think about it, but we've heaped in 2 months a tremendous amount of activity on the president, his cabinet, and they usually don't get up to speed until May, June, or July of the first year of the new presidency. And we're demanding a faster action because of the crisis in the country, and we expect the president to respond that way. But let's have a little, not mercy, but a little tolerance. That we have to do this right, we have to get the right people, and we have to press as hard as we can, and there will be some mistakes.
Well, don't you think that these hearings are crucial when it comes to the confidence of the American people?
Absolutely.
How many more missteps are we going to have? I mean, how's the Congress going to be able to go back to the American people and say, well, we got to help this group out a little bit more after all of this malarkey that's taken place?
Ed, you're absolutely correct. That's exactly what I told Mr. Liddy when we discussed this 45 days ago. I said, you know, you're making this burden, because I'm one of the people that came down here in September and worked on the first rescue package, and I remember how hard it was to sell, and we lost the first vote and had to go back.
Thank you,
5 days
Congressman.